Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of River City Ransom for the Nintendo Entertainment System, played on the Wii Virtual Console. This is going to be a second playthrough of the game. We're going to be using player 2, Tiree, and we're going to be playing on the advanced skill level. Because it's going to be an advanced level, we're going to have to use some different tactics when fighting enemies. We won't be fighting all the gangs. Sometimes we'll be just running from gangs. I'm gonna mainly focus on weapons. So because the weapon stat is pretty easy to max out, we can max it out in the second mall, and it's pretty cheap to do so. We don't have to run all the way to the third mall to buy the candy from Amy's Sweet Tooth. We can max it out in the second mall, getting sodas from Moe's Burger Joint. So that's what we'll be really focusing on first. Then we'll be focusing on our defense and our strength then. And I'm mainly going to be worrying about, you know, the Grand Slam. That's going to be our big offense. So, but enemies in advanced mode are much harder. They're much more aggressive, and they block a lot more. So these guys are blocking. They're generic dudes. They're the weakest gang. Sometimes you actually want an enemy to pick up a weapon, because when they're holding a weapon, they can't block. So, the stat that determines how good you are at breaking an enemy's block is the strength stat, and right now we're just basically at the base level of 15. All our stats are, so. But, we got lucky there. We got the generic dudes in the first thing. We also got the generic dudes here, so on the first screen, so that's pretty good. Like I said, because the gangs are really, really aggressive. So hey, it would be nice to, just have a bunch of, weaker gangs here at first to just get a little bit of money, so we can start pumping up our weapon skill when we get to the second mall. So, sometimes, like I said, let the enemies pick up weapons. You'll see one of the tactics that I'm doing here a lot is, you'll jump up onto a higher ledge, and then you can drop down. And the enemies, when you drop down, they aren't really ready to block. So you can kind of get some free hits in on them, and usually as you're hitting them, if you keep up the attack, they won't block, middle of your attacks. So you're going to see me doing that a lot, jumping up on like a ledge, and then letting the enemies come near me, or walking toward the enemies, and then jumping down to hit them. So, and that's just one way to get, through their blocking. So. I guess they're too dumb to look up and prepare to block, so. Alrighty, here at the Grotto Mall. Buy some stuff here. We're not going to buy too much because, like I said, we're going to try to save most of our money to buy that in the next mall. A bunch of sodas from Moe's Burgers. That'll give us the +1 to weapon. So we're going to have to do that 48 times, so a little over $50. So. The only technique we're really going to want to buy is the Grand Slam that makes us use weapons really, really quick. So, look at that. That guy threw like a brass knuckle and punched us, and we're already down to like no health. So, yeah. Enemies are really, really mean and aggressive. They'll knock you down, they'll pick you up, and they'll throw you. While you're on the ground, they'll throw a weapon at you, because the weapon can still strike you when you're prone on the ground. So, enemies are just really, really mean. So, got a little bit of stamina back here. Also, we're getting a little bit of strength. We're going to want to eventually max out that stat too, but we just want to get our, because that'll help us break the enemies when they're, their defenses when they're blocking. But for the main part, like I said, we're going to focus on trying to get our weapons maxed out. So these frat guys, they're really, really aggressive. So we're just going to avoid them. And we got lucky because another one popped up with a whip here, so. I've noticed there's sometimes there's some trouble with the whips. Look at that. Wow, we got hit by a whip and how much damage it took. Sometimes when you, if you have a whip and it drops up there to the top, it's tough to pick up. The game won't let you pick it up, so I guess it kind of gets lost in the background there. Or the hitbox to pick it up. So here we go, we're just whipping Mr. Moose. He'll be good for 2 sodas. He drops $2.25 and a soda's $1.10. So, and the soda's gonna be in the next mall here, so Like I said, it's at Moe's Burger. So, we're going to be buying a lot of items, but we're going to be buying mainly cheap items. So, it's not going to cost too much money to max out stats, but it's going to take more time than anything. So, let's go to our drinks here. Buy that soda. And I just want to try to avoid taking it to go, because then that just has to bring up another another menu. So yeah, we were able to get up some stamina by buying the soda. We're also able to get, mainly importantly, that weapon. So, and actually I forgot to hit no there, so I'm gonna have to go to my menu and drink some that soda from the menu. So, but I'll just get a chance to show off how to do that there. So, like I said, if you get something to go, all you have to do is go into your belongings in the menu, and then the item will be there to select, and you can drink it at your leisure. So, now in the future, I'll be kind of like off-screening a lot of this. I'll go in there, I'll buy like one item, use it, and then I'll just like do a cut scene and then a little transition to when I'm drinking the last few or eating the last few items. So, yeah, I just thought I'd keep this in here just, you know, for now, just to kind of show you what I'm doing. So, yeah, I chose to focus on, like I said, weapons, because in the end, weapons, like I said, will do more damage than just your regular kicks and your punches. So, and it's, we could have got the dragon feet, and, you know, that's a potential thing, you know, get the dragon feet, and then get the Texas boots to max out your agility and your kick, and then run through the game like that. But being able to hold on to, you know, $100, get to $100, is pretty tough in this. Remember, every time you get knocked out, you lose half your money. Of course, you can kind of just, you know, if you're taking your password often, you can just kind of reset, enter that password, and you won't lose your money. But there were multiple times when I had to, you know, restart, you know, from a password. So, but I will obviously not cut. Those are all, you know, cut out or anything like that. So you get a clean run to show that it's technically possible to kind of go through this, you know, the advanced. So advanced would probably, like I said, be so much easier if you had, you know, 2 players, because 2 players can surround an enemy, and, you know, while he's blocking from the front, you can hit the enemy from behind the other player, and it alleviates that issue of losing half your money. Remember, if you're playing 2-player and one of the characters is knocked out, if the other player leaves the screen before his partner like disappears from the glowing to flashing, they will be revived in the next screen with their full health and all their money back. So it's a good way to, you know, cheese the system, as I mentioned in the previous playthrough with Dutch. So that's, like I said, just a good way to, you know, hold on to your money. Another thing you can do is, like I said, if the gangs are all cleared out, you know, and one of your characters is kind of low on health, just have the other person beat them up, and then when they fall down with no health, then you can just leave the screen. That way they'll be on this next screen, like I said, with full health and no danger. Because sometimes, you know, as much as you want to do that plan, what can happen is you might be in the middle of a fight, you know, and the other guy, he might be getting knocked down or be tied up, and he won't be able to necessarily run off the screen to save your money. So, but also having 2 players would also probably make it easier when you fight guys like Benny and Clyde. One person can beat up Benny, the other one can beat up Clyde. Benny and Clyde are a lot tougher. Like I said, every enemy has more advanced stats, and we'll notice that as we go on. Toward the end of the game there, Dutch was able to take out Benny and Clyde really easy. Just like one knockdown would finish them off. Sometimes it takes like 4 or 5 knockdowns in advanced mode here to defeat those enemies. And that's even with, you know, like the maxed out stat, maxed out weapon stat, maxed out strength, and carrying the trash can. So, yeah, it just goes to show how much harder enemies are. So, thankfully though, you know, once you start getting some stats, though, it becomes a little bit more reasonable. So let's see how much we've maxed out, how far we've gotten to maxing out our stuff. Like I said, we're gonna have to drink 48 sodas. So basically, it's if you're going by takeout, it'd be 6 entire inventory screen full. So, but yeah, stats max out at 63, and you start with 15. So 48 sodas. Who would have thought that drinking soda would make you stronger? So. I wonder if it has to be, I guess it must be regular soda though, because in real life I drink a lot of diet soda. I know I shouldn't, but I do, and that unfortunately has not increased my strength, so I am still weak. But speaking of weak, I was squatting in the gym, and you know, I'm kind of older, so I'm not looking to impress anybody. I'm not, you know, I'm just looking to, you know, maintain healthy, you know, stay in shape, you know. So I do, you know, low weight, you know, high reps, but I make sure I do good strict form. I don't want to tear a muscle, hurt a muscle, pull a muscle, so, you know, really strict form. So I'm squatting, I'm only doing 95, the bar, and then 25 on each side. But I'm doing 10 sets of 10, you know, nice form going all the way down, nice and slow. And this one girl comes up to me, and she works at the gym, one of the women who work at the fitness desk, and she's like, you know, you should be lifting more, you know. And it's like, no, like, you know, I'm not lifting to impress, I'm not lifting, you know, like I said, I'm lifting for health. So I guess also too, like, I guess I was kind of flattered, because a lot of folks, they think I'm younger than I am. So there's this other guy, another guy who works at the gym. I was benching, and I'm benching 115 the bar, and then 35 on each side, and so it's 115, and you know, same thing. I'm doing 9 reps of 10 each. And the guy comes up to me, he's like, you should be lifting more than that, you know? And I'm like, no, dude, like, this guy's like, he's just 19-year-old, you know, young stud, prime of his life, you know, and he's pretty built, you know? So he's actually doing, like, going out to Hollywood to do a web show. He's starring as Superman in it. So obviously the guy's, like, pretty built. He's like, no, you should be doing more. I'm like, dude, like, no way, man, like, you know, it's, like I said, I'm not a young punk like you, you know? And he's like, you can't be that old, you know? And I'm like, dude, I'm old enough to be your dad, you know? And he's like, I don't think so. He's like, my mom's 43, and I'm like, yeah, and I turned 42 half a year ago, so yeah, your mom's like half a year older than me, because he says mom just turned 43. He's like, oh man, I didn't even notice that. I was like, yeah. I was like, so. But yeah, like I said, I'm there to just be healthy, so these guys are not being healthy because they're getting whipped. One thing I just did there, I beat the homeboys up, so that was the one gang that I did not fight entirely with Dutch. The only time the homeboys appeared was, I believe, when Toke, one of the zombies appeared in the right outside the mall, the Oak Hill Mall. So, yeah, I only got to fight 4 of the homeboys. So, but yeah, we took them out all here there, so. Just grabbed that lead pipe. Should have stuck with the whip, but, nah. Lead pipe's a little bit stronger than the whip. Has less reach, but. So once again, we're doing our farming. Now I'll be farming in other episodes. I'll be doing my farming off screen, like I said, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a, you know, a heads up on how I'm starting out this early game. Early game is actually the hardest part, you know, of this, because once you start getting some stats up, you'll be able to, you know, take out enemies more effectively, and you won't necessarily be beaten so easily. So right now we're kind of like a glass cannon. As you saw, whenever we got hit, we lost so much health. That's because our defense is so low, and we don't have much health either because our stamina is low, and our max power, which is the max stamina you can have, are pretty low. But like I said, through drinking all these sodas and eventually some other food items that we're going to be buying, we'll eventually get that both of those stats up while we're building up our you know, our weapon. But yeah, we're basically building a glass cannon right here now. We will eventually, though, go and build up our defense. We can build up defense back in the first mall by eating the bagels. They build your defense. So I need to maybe eat more bagels. But right now we're just gonna drink a whole bunch of sodas. More soda. So let's just keep drinking all those sodas. Yeah, right, as you can see, we spent a whole bunch of money on sodas. And let's go, see how, whatchamacallit, see how close we are. There we are, we have maxed out our weapons, so we're gonna deal the most damage possible with our weapons. So, like I said, right now, pure glass cannon, but we'll be working on our defense in our next episode. So, take care, have a good one, see you then, bye.